and welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. We are pleased to welcome our resource person, Rajeshri Madam from Hyderabad. We all of us know well, and she was with us in 2 days and sharing with great ideas. She will share with us today the concept of language and mathematical concepts, and which will surely enhance our teaching. And today, I request all of your keen attention towards the webinar. I welcome Rajeshri Madam to take over. Welcome, Madam.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. Thank you, team. Very happy morning to one and all. Happy Environmental Day. Very happy to see you all again. 225, 226 is not a small number. I'm really happy to see the numbers growing up every day. And yeah, so dear educators, how are you all feeling after the 2 day session? I'm really thrilled, and I started reading all your feedbacks, your reflections, and I realized so much of the content was shared. And yes, let's all celebrate the education system. Let's all celebrate the learner's learning experience. Every small learning opportunity, what we are going to give for our learners, it's going to become a wonderful experience for all our learners. So, and we are going to become the reason. The feeling itself, I really feel it great every time whenever I feel like the learners are going to enjoy with us. So with that, let me proceed with my session for the day. Today, our focus is on the language and the logical. It means we use English as a subject, we use math as a subject, but ultimately those two subjects are taking a major role for language development or the logical development, or those two subjects are going to be the key element for the pre-reading, pre-writing, and the pre-number concepts. So today we are going to completely involve ourselves in exploring our pre-reading, pre-writing, and the pre-number concepts. So to begin with, we had a basic idea of what pre-reading skills are all about, and what are the elements that are covered in the pre-reading skills, which is nothing but to revise again the auditory discrimination, which is focusing on the listening and speaking, and then the visual, that is the visual discrimination, which is nothing but helping the learners to read the vocabularies or the statement with understanding. And the third important thing is audio visual association, that which is nothing but helping the learners to use those vocabularies or the pictures or the situation in the multiple contexts. Thereby, finally, the last skill would be helping the learners to use those vocabularies or those situations or those objects in multiple contexts. So thereby, finally, the learners will develop that perception, word perception, sentence perception, object perception, situation perception. So it means once we start introducing those vocabularies or the situations or the statements, really using the objects, the real-time objects or the flashcards or the puppets, and help the learners to understand the completeness of the vocabulary or the statements, the child will start learning that, and the child will start applying. The identification skill will be stronger, the observation skill will become stronger, right? So this is what is the art of the pre-reading practice, the pre-reading readiness activities. So the more you give pre-reading readiness activities, the more the learners will start developing interest and enthusiasm in writing. So writing is the last stage. See, for the language development to happen, the four skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But most of the time, we teachers are in a hurry to complete our portions. We wanted to see the great results happening. So what we will do, we will directly make the child to write in the 4 lines especially. So that's the biggest harm that we are doing for our learners. See, even yesterday we were trying to talk. The finger muscles doesn't have the wiring at the time of the word, and these finger muscles needs lots of hands-on activity, lots of pattern making, lots of what do you call directionality for that to get wired in the brain. So until unless the finger muscles are wired properly, the hand movement or the coordination will not take place. So my dear teachers, let's not hurry the child for taking the pencil, writing the systematic procedure of what do you call the directionality of the letters. For every letter there is a readiness that need to happen. So that's what is the what do you call, that's what would be our first element of the session for the day. See, in English as a subject, though I call it as a language, as a skill, but still we all treat English as a subject. So in that English subject, we have letters in the alphabet, all the sounds that we have to make sure that the learners are able to identify, that is, pronounce the sounds properly, and then that will help the child in the later stage to form the words or the statements in the later stage. So today the basic element, the foundation element, is nothing but how effectively the child is able to identify and produce the sound of every individual letters. We can't directly make the learners or force the learners to write the letters in 4 lines. Please do not do that mistake. Rather, please make sure that all our learners are given proper conditions, proper patterns of identifying the letters. So let's see the demonstration, and let's try to connect the pre-reading, that is the 4 skills of pre-reading: the auditory discrimination, visual discrimination, audio visual association, and then the perception, the letter perception or the word perception. So here in this context, if you are dealing with the letters, then we have to ensure that all our learners are going to reach to the letter perception level, right? So here we are going to make a simple understanding about what letter we have to introduce first, whether it is a lowercase letter or the uppercase letter. Now, in during my previous observation in few of your schools, few of your centers, I've seen that you have started with uppercase letter. Yes, there might be multiple conditions that you have started with an uppercase letter and then later on the lowercase letter. But actually, according to the brain condition of the learner's age whom we are dealing with, the uppercase letter is not going to help the learners for its concrete understanding. The reason is, see, right from 0 to 8 years, the maximum brain development happens. This is what is the real, this is what is the truth that we all understood. For the past 2 days, we were trying to talk the same thing again and again. And one more thing is, it is the brain development is like a spiral. It means for few period it will be little faster, and then it goes down. The growth will be little slow, and then again it will go fast, and then it will go slow. So it means exactly at the age of 2.5, 3.5, the growth will be slow. It means during that time, if we are going to introduce the letter A in capital letters, and the child is looking at it, that is, the child is observing the environment where the letters are mostly in lowercase letter. Now, where is the child getting an opportunity to connect? See, learning should be applied. Then the learning will become concrete. That's what is the actual reality, actual purpose of learning. If the learning is just kept unused, then there is no purpose of learning. So it means even for the letter introduction, even for every single letter, the child is learning. has to have a meaning, has to have an application. Just imagine I'm introducing the letter A on the first week of the academic year, like this, right? Where is the child going to see this letter in its environment? Where is the possibility for the child to observe this and relate it? Because even any of the books or the newspapers or the magazines or the hoardings will not have complete capital letters. So the child has to struggle to identify. The child will lose interest. Why should I read this? Because I'm not able to. See, today, if you are teaching the environmental studies topic, somewhere or the other, the child is able to connect it immediately. Somewhere or the other, the child is able to observe it is happening in his real life experience. But these letters, symbols are abstract. They are completely abstract concepts. So this need lots of tuning. It means we have to start with we have to begin our introduction of the letters with lowercase. So it means if the moment you introduce a lowercase letter, definitely the child is going to observe this in his environment. Immediately any newspaper or magazine or a hoarding will show any one of the, that is definitely a vowel is there in every word. So it means there is a possibility that the child is gaining the confidence. Yes, what teacher is trying to say or pronounce or show or make me to struggle and write, I'm able to see it. And that is called letter A. Right? So it means the moment the child start understanding, the moment the child start relating the letters to the real life situation, then the confidence happens for the child. Then the motivation takes place. So before introducing the letter, what we have to do? What as a teachers? See, we cannot directly make the learners to write the lowercase letter also. They need some pattern adjustments. The patterns are nothing but the directionality. Directly, the child cannot go with the directions, the letter directions, until unless some sort of wiring is taking place for the child to know the directions, what is left and what is right, what is curve, what is straight. So all these are the vocabularies that has to train the mind, that has to give a direction to the mind, saying that okay, standing line matlab it has to come from the top and it has to be straight. Curve line, it has to have a direction like this, right curve, left curve. And that is the reason in pre-primary, the initial 15 days, 1 month or 15 days, we request all the teachers to start with the pattern writings. The pattern writings are the only source or the only resource for the child to gain what the gain the what do you call the interest in developing the fine muscle development. So then one more biggest mistake what we teachers generally because see, I keep observing many of the classes across the country, and during my observation, I really feel bad sometimes. The child is being pressured to write in 4 lines at the beginning of the year. It means the child doesn't know. See, first and foremost thing is the child need to have the free hand movement. The large muscle development should happen. The child should have a complete, what do you call, a freedom of moving the hand and making the brain to be comfortable. Yes, this standing, that matlab it has to come from up to down. Sleeping matlab it has to go from left to right. So it means the brain has to get that acceptance first of all, and then you can go with the other patterns of now. So initially, to begin with, let the teacher help the learners to do the air writing on the desk, on the newspaper, asking them to spread the newspaper, just do the scribbling part. May then take the white sheet, let the child scribble within the given boundary in the white sheet, and then you can request the parents to draw a pink box, blue box, pink box and blue box, so that the child will know four lines ka, what do you call, the color combination, what the four lines have, the pink and the blue lines. So now the child is aware what is pink and what is blue. And then after the child is aware of writing within the pink, that is scribbling within the pink box, scribbling within the blue box, now the child is aware, okay, this limit is blue and this limit is pink. So now the slowly the child will start following your instruction. Start from the pink line, top pink line, then come to the second blue line. So all these instructions will take place in the later stage. But today the child need to learn the directions properly using the gross muscle development, not the fine, the gross muscle development, so that that gross muscle is going to help the fine muscle through the multiple engagements. After limiting the child's concentration level within the given boundaries, now you can start, now you can just ask the parent to just draw two lines in the middle, a pink line and the blue line, and you can just ask the child to keep the hand in the middle and just say that the opposite sides two friends are standing, might be Manu and Tanu. Manu and Tanu are standing the either side and there is a crocodile in the middle of the pond. So Manu wanted to cross this to reach Tanu. Tanu wanted to cross this. So both Manu and Tanu are running to reach that, but they're not, they're afraid of the crocodile. So you can cook up some stories like this and start helping the child to know the boundaries for pink and blue. And slowly you can increase the combination, red, blue, like that. And then you can ask them to start doing the standing line within the red line, and curve within the red and the blue line. So likewise, you can start a stepwise procedure so that the child will have a, what do you call, independent or what do you call, a free movement scribbling, so that there is a fine muscle development, eye-hand coordination, and a controlled movement within the given boundary. And slowly the child will start developing the interest of, because there is no restriction that the child has to control only this much. The child can start moving, the child can have a repeated what do you call, movements like this. So this will help the child to jump. And slowly then after doing this, then you can start directing the child. Come on, start from the top red line or pink line and come down and stop. Standing line. Now before that, you can just make the child to say standing line. Come on, write on the air, on the desk or on the floor. Come on, write standing line. Close your eyes and write. So all these exercises will help the child to develop the pattern, and then you can help the child. So writing skills can take place with multiple chanting. Standing line, start from the dot, take a straight line. Sleeping line, start from the dot, from the left to right. Left to right. How many of us are doing this? Right? So please make sure that we are helping all our learners to develop this interest of what do you call, knowing the directionality. And then later on, how the letter, that is the letter introductions, can take place. Now coming back to the letter introductions. Now how, as teachers, as a pre-primary teachers, we introduce the letters. See, most of the time, yes, our focus is on writing the letters in the four lines. But teachers, until unless the brain gives the wiring of directions, the letter writing cannot happen. So the wiring can take place only through motivation. And motivation is nothing but the pronunciation or the language or the sound that is coming out. So for every letter introduction, make sure that the child alliterates. What do you mean by alliteration? A rhythmic movement of the tongue, the articulation, the mouth position that happens while pronouncing. So it means directly you cannot just make the child to just say a for a. The child will not. Rather, you have to create an interest. It means first as a rhythm. See, the brain development or the brain absorption for the age group what we are dealing with is from 0 to 6 years or 0 to 8 years. The left side of the brain is more dominant rather than the right side. I'm not saying the right side is not functioning at all. The right side functions. It is having a short-term memory. The left brain is a long-term memory. So all the sound right from the birth, what the child is listening, is being stored. So there are a lot many information that are stored there. And one more thing is the left brain has a maximum absorption capability, and it enjoys the experiences like rhythm, enjoys the experiences of colors, enjoys the experiences of some sensorial activities. So then the learning will become faster and it keeps storing in the left brain. And the right brain helps to just keep do the wiring, because right brain is mostly like the information will just come in, and whatever information has to come in, it will enter into the right brain and it will just keep pushing into the left brain. And whatever information is being stored, it is like it keeps moving in the left brain. All the information which are stored in the left brain, it is becoming a clustered. So that is the reason many a times we have the feeling that that is I until unless we see that person or we see that information, we hear the information, we just recollect. Otherwise, sometimes few of the memory are lost, few of the experiences are lost. The more and more there is a recollection, the more and more there is a reinforcement. The information is not retrieved by the right memory. So right memory helps in receiving and taking out. So it means left brain is like a storage and right brain is more like receiving and taking out. It means the more the opportunities are given, the right brain gives a creative scope, the expression scope, so that whatever is being understood is being retrieved by the right brain, the way the intelligence is dominant. That is, every human being has a 3 dominant intelligence. Out of the 9 multiple intelligence, every human brain will have the 3 dominant intelligence. And that 3 dominant intelligence is going to help the human performance, that is the performance of the humans presentation based on their understanding. So you and me cannot decide this is the way this person is going to present. It's not like that. Every person will have their own dominant, and that's the reason few learners are naughty, they are hyperactive, few learners are very silent, they don't want to talk with anybody, they are very reserved, few learners are talkative, few learners are they always wanted to move out from the they are always, they have the crave for going outside, go for the loo break and other things. So these are nothing but they have the different intelligence, they have the different dominant intelligence. So we teachers or we educators cannot decide that this is how he has to. We cannot just restrict the child to perform only this way. You have to give option. Let the outcome be the child's what do you call interest. Let the outcome be the way the child wanted to present. So all these things will take place through the proper introduction, through the proper, because today let's understand that the pattern what we have to give is very important so that the brain keeps taking in the information. Like say for example, if I wanted to introduce the letter A. Now, say for example, now the letter A is given. Now let me just make sure that the child is having interest in what do you call the pictures first. So what I will do, apple and axe arrow. Ah, ah, ah. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. Ah, ah, am. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. Ah, ah, am. Alligator, abacus, ankle, astronaut. Ah, ah, am. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. Ah, ah, am. Alligator, abacus, ankle, astronaut. Ah, ah, ah. What is happening? There is a rhythm, there is a sound. We are not teaching A for apple, A for ant, A for axe. No, there is no for. Rather, you have to just make the learners develop that alliteration. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. The sound is automatically what do you call it? It's getting tuned, and then slowly you can take the child to the next level, like asking the child to have a pointer. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. Ah, ah, ah. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. Ah, ah, ah. Can we improve the speed now? Come on. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. Ah, ah, ah. So it means just see the number of repetitions that are happening, right? So that it becomes what as a rhythm for the child. Now the child will start observing the commonality. Now, yeah. Apple, ant, alligator, arrow. Now again we are going to repeat it little faster now. Arrow, alligator, ant, apple, apple, ant, alligator, arrow. So the child is now just going to observe the common sound and the symbol, common sound and symbol, right? And then slowly you can now a ah, a ah. Now start from the dot, take a curve, go up and come down. A ah, a ah. Start from the dot, take a curve, go up, come down. Start from the dot, take a curve, move up, and come down. What is the teacher doing here? The teacher is chanting. The teacher is trying to help the learners develop the directionality of the letter. So if every letter is introduced like this, definitely you will not see the mirror image problem. Otherwise, many a times the teachers are struggling to make the child develop the interest in letter writing, or the children have always a problem of mirror image. For B they will write D, the D is written as B, or P, Q, 9, W, M. So these things are not, is because every letter is not being introduced as a pattern. We are just asking them, come on, trace it, come on, write on that. So our instructions are not clear for the learners. So the more our instructions are clear, the more what do you call, encouraging, and the more repeated chanting is given to the learners, the child will start tuning in the mind. Okay, for the sound ah, this is the formation. So for the sound ba, this is the formation. So the mind is mentally tuned like that. Got my point, teachers? So please make sure that we are helping our learners with the proper alliteration. First, introduce the alliteration. Make the child develop. So one day, exclusively help the learners for alliteration, right? And then introduce the pictures, right? Introduce the pictures, make the child to develop that interest in that. Apple, axe, ant, apple, ant, axe. So that's how you please, for one video, exclusive video, send with the pictures, one video exclusive with the words, one video you can just send as the audio visual association, like apple, 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 ant, ant, axe, alligator, alligator. So it means there is an auditory discrimination, there is a visual discrimination. Visual discrimination is nothing but the word which is having the meaning. And audio visual association is just you are trying to help the child with pronunciation and the meaning behind, and the child can now apply it. And then the last is the letter perception, right? The letter perception. So for the reading readiness to take place, let's religiously start working on these four elements: auditory discrimination, visual discrimination, audio visual association, which will help the child for the letter perception if the child is developing the directionality, right? So now coming back to the pre-writing skills. Pre-writing skills focus on the fine muscle development. That is the first skill that we have to take care of. Then the eye-hand coordination. It means the hand and the eye need to know the formation. It means eye-hand coordination activities has to go in, and then left to right directionality is the last skill that we need to focus. So don't force the child with the left to right directionality at the beginning stage. Until unless there is a fine muscle development, eye and hand coordination, the left to right directionality cannot happen. Please understand. So please make sure that we follow this basic rules for the pre-writing practice, for the pre-reading practice. And pre-reading practice or pre-writing skills cannot happen in one day or 1 month or no. So it should be continuous, because these finger muscles are the last organ that is developed in the human body at the time of the birth. So it means these finger muscles are very, very, very tender. And even today, even for us, how is our energy level, or how is our coordination using fingers? Now today, just compare yourself. How is your hand movement at the beginning of the session, that is day before yesterday? How was your hand movement, and how was your hand movement today? Imagine your brain position or your body structure or your body mood at the last working day for the academic year 2019 and 20, and how was the body condition or the mood or your hand coordination today. The last working day was fully active, fully, what do you call, fully you are energetic, and multiple things, multiple activities were going around in your mind. And today you're a little relaxed, you have solid time, and to get that energy again you need lots of experience. So that's the condition. The same way, even for the learners, if the learners are getting the gap, then it will take time for them to fill. And these finger muscles need continuous coordination, continuous work, that is engagement, so that the finger muscles are becoming strong. And again, if the finger, that is, if the fingers are just left unused or not given proper engagement, again there is a gap. So it means the wiring will get connected if the engagements are continuous. The wiring will just keep, that is become numb, though it is connected, but still become numb if it is unused. So please make sure that we are engaging our learners with proper. It doesn't mean you're going to give them only writing practice. No, you're going to give some experiential learning, something where the child is picking up, pasting, coloring. So some sort of an engagement to know the pattern. to know the pattern of the letter, to know the pattern of the formation of the letter. So it's not just the child has to depict only using the pencil and paper. No, the child can come out with anything which the child feels that he can use it to form the pattern, right? So give that scope, give that if the child is at home now help the parents to just provide some atta dough so that the child can form the words, or ask them to give some the pulses and other things, ask the child to just form the letter formation or the stroke formation. So anything, you can just give some sort of ideas to the parents so that the parents can engage the child productively rather than stressing the child to write only in 4 lines. Got my point, teachers? Please do not force the child for writing. Yes, we can. See, even today, we are ready to learn phonics sounds. We are ready to learn some new thing. It means learning can happen continuously. But only thing is that stimulation needs the period, that is that stage. Once it is gone, again you cannot bring back the stage, and that is the reason you and me are struggling hard to make the environment understand, make the people that is make the parents who are the who are dealing with the pre-primary years to understand the importance of pre-primary education. So that's the reason you and me are investing our time in knowing few important things so that these things can be communicated to the parents again. So that's the thing. Yeah. Now let's all have a simple revision of the letter sounds. Yeah. Let's have the alliteration and the letter sounds now. Apple, ant, axe, arrow. Ah, ah, ah. A, ah. You can repeat after me. A, ah. Bat, ball, box, balloon, b. Car, cup, camel, cat, k. Dog, dolphin, doll, duck, d. E, elephant, engine, 8, eh. And what is the sound of f? It is not f, it is f. Keep your hands on your nose and feel the air. Fan, fox, fish, fountain. Gate, goat, gun, girl, g. Hat, hen, horse, house. Keep your hand on your tummy and feel that sound, the breath. I, igloo, iguana, insect, inkpot, e. Check with your alliteration. Check with your articulation, the mouth position also while you pronounce the sounds now. Right? Now, jam, jug, jelly, joker, ja. King, kite, key, kettle, ka. Lion, lamp, log, lotus, Monkey, moon, mango, mouse, Nose, needle, nest, nut, All, onion, orange, octopus, oh. Pen, pan, pencil, parrot, pa. Question, queen, quilt, quill, qua. Rabbit, rat, rose, rain, sun, socks, soap, snake, tap, tiger, turtle, tortoise, up, under, uncle, umbrella, van, vase, violin, vulture, bend your lips and bite the lower part of the lips. Wool, water, watch, window, wa, wa. X-ray, Xmas, tree, like box, fox, ox. What is the sound of X? Yacht, yak, yarn, yellow, yak, yak, yeah. Zoo, zip, zero, zebra, zzz, zzz, zzz. Right? So make sure that you do this exercise quite often so that you get thorough in pronouncing the sounds. See, there are lots of YouTube videos that are available. Today, you have more time to invest in searching the right pronunciation and to practice it properly, teachers. So please be confident. Please make sure that you take care of your mouth position when you pronounce, because children are going to watch it, right? Children are going to watch it and they are going to repeat after you. They are going to follow your direction, even the pronunciation, your mouth position. So make sure that you are trying to give the proper articulation. This is very, very important. And second important thing is the pronunciation. Please practice. Practicing the pronunciation is very, very important. The words, the sounds, the directions, the chanting of every letter from A to Z. Start developing the chanting practice. How you are going to give the signals for the learners, where to start, where to end, taking the curve, going up. All these things needs the chanting directionality. So please make sure that you practice it properly so that the child follow the directions. Until unless these patterns are going to happen in the child's brain, the child will never get motivated to write. And that is the reason even today many of the primary learners who have not received that motivation is now struggling hard to do the writing practice or copy something from the board or they feel it is all the pressured environment. They feel it is a pressured experience which they are not enjoying at all. So that's the reason you see children crying to complete the pages. Children come up with all what you call unwanted stuff, unwanted statements that, Mommy, why are you pressuring me so much? Because the brain is not giving the proper signal for that. Got my point, teachers? So make sure that we are giving the proper alliterations, proper practice of the letters and the symbols. There is the symbols and the sounds also. Yeah. Now coming back to the next level. Next level is nothing but after introducing the 26 letters in the alphabet, make sure that at the end of the stage, that is at the end of I think for LKG, you are supposed to even introduce the vowels and the consonants. After I think in the second stage, first stage help the child to be thorough in all the letter identification, sounds, and other things. Then the second stage is nothing but the vowels. And UKG teachers make sure that along with the repetitions of the letters, all the 26 letters and the sounds, start revising the vowels and the consonants, right? Make sure that the sound practice is happening properly. All the sounds related to the vowels, letters, and the consonant letters should be thorough in the child's mind. Now, quickly, we will have an exercise for the vowels also. Yeah. Now, teachers, how do you generally see? This is my favorite game. I don't know, more better than this. I don't find any other good game which will engage everyone. So, how will you generally introduce a vowel to all our learners, or how will you recap the vowels? I think most of the teachers who have attended my training must have used this in your classrooms. So, for the benefit of others who did not attend my session, we will have a short recap of how we introduce the vowels and the consonants, right? So let's imagine this is our real-time classroom situation, and we are going to just before declaring this is vowels and these are consonants, let's just motivate the learner with a simple game like this. Now, come on, children, we are all going to repeat after teacher, following the teacher's action also, right? Come on. Ah, eh, e, o, now, A, E, I, O, U. Can we all repeat it again? You can do along with me, not a problem. A, E, I, O, U. Again. A, E, I, O, U. Right? Now, what are the letters that we used in this game? Yes, A, E, I, O, U. Wonderful. Now, those letters we used in the game, let's draw a small rectangle box, and let's all put those letters inside the rectangle box now. Now, come on, repeat. What are the letters that we used in the game now? A, E,
A,
I, O,
I,
U. Wonderful.
U.
So we wrote all these letters inside the small box, in small rectangle box. Now let's draw a big rectangle box now below that. And let's start listing out the letters that we did not use in this game. Come on, let's all write it together now. B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Right. Now, those letters which we wrote inside the small box, we call it as a small family in the alphabet family, and that we call it as a vowel family. Small family is called the vowel family in the alphabet, and the big box, the letters which we kept in the big box, this is called the big family in the alphabet, and that we call it as a that we are going to call it as a consonant family. Vowel family and the consonant family. Vowel family is a small family and consonant family is a big family. Small family, big family. Vowel family, consonant family. So just see, what is our target? Our target is helping the child have a playful environment. Are we not engaging the learners? Are we not helping the learners to just that is engaging themselves? See, it is working along, right? So make the learners to work along with you, to they themselves, instead of declaring, children, today we are going to have vowels, we are going to learn vowels. And what are vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So there is no, what is the meaning behind a vowel? Why should we introduce vowels? And the pre-primary children need not know all these, what do you call, the definition of vowels and other things, but let them enjoy learning the sounds and the symbols. Right? Now, again, let's come back to the class as a pre-primary class, right? Now, children, we are going to say the sounds of the small family, which is called the vowel family. Shall we all say the sounds of the vowel family now? Come on, together. Ah, e, o, e. Again. Ah, e, o, e. Again. Ah, e, o. Again, we are going to improve our speed now. A, E, A, E, O, A, E, O, A. Still more faster. A, E, O, A, E, O, A. A, E, O, A. Now, together. A, E, O, A. A, E, O, A. So can we use the sound to play this game now? A, E, O, A, E, O, So children will definitely enjoy. They start recollecting if you start giving this playful environment to the learners. Now, children, let's all say the sounds of the consonant family now. B, K, D, F, G, H, I. Sorry. J, K, I, P, Q, I, S, T, V, W, X. Yeah. Z. Again. B, K, D, F, G, H, J, K, I, P, Q, I, S, T, V, W, X. Yeah. Z. So just all these things can happen if the teacher is going to practice it perfect and you're confident to do this exercise in front of the learners. That means you are going to have a recording session. So be little careful and don't have the fear. But until unless you practice it perfectly, I feel that you will be facing little bit of challenges. So my request is teachers, do not produce wrong sounds, do not give wrong information, do not teach them which is complicating the learner's mind. So be very simple. Just try to create some see, this is one part of the idea which I gave. You can bring in lot many ideas better than this, right? So but make sure that you are not complicating the concept. Let it be very simple, relating to what the child can use it in the real life situation. Yes. Now your assessment should be mostly like helping the learners. Now the moment you help the learners, that is, you make the learners to see the sound. Now children, what is the sound? Pa. And is that a vowel sound or a consonant sound? Yes, it is a consonant sound. Now let's see another letter now. Now what sound is this? Yes, it is I sound. Is that a vowel or a consonant? Yes, it is a consonant sound. Wonderful. Now, can you say what sound is this? It is a sound. What sound is this? This is a sound. And is it a vowel or a consonant? Yes, it is a vowel sound. Wonderful. So try to create some interest so that there is a guessing. The child is able to identify. The moment the child is seeing the vowel symbol or a consonant symbol, the child is able to say the sound and identify, yes, it is a vowel, yes, it is a consonant. Let the child be confirmed with the symbol, right? So then you can take the child to the next level, which is the formation. The formations are nothing but how the child is going to develop the interest in forming the words. So before forming the words, the child need to know where these sounds came from. Yeah. So it means we have to make sure that first and foremost thing is let the child know the pattern of vowel and consonant combination. So help the child to take one vowel sound and list out all the combination like b, k, d, f, g, h till z, and make the child to just combine it. A, b, ab, a, k, ak, a, d, ad, a, f, af, a, g, ag, a, h, ah. So like this, let the child explore till as. So these 21 sound is going to help the child. The moment you say, what is the sound? The child has to say ab. What is the sound? Ak. What is the sound? Af. So let the child be quick in identification. That is how you need to give that practice. Then take them to the next level. Take them to the next level of taking the vowel consonant It means you are going to take the consonant plus vowel consonant, right? So you are going to do a CVC sounds now. Now, say for example, I took the sound ag. Now, allow the child to write, right? Now, bag, bag, cag, cag, fag, fag, gag, gag. Let there be a meaningful or the meaningless words, but the child will develop the interest of word formation. Got my point? So please make sure that you are building an exercise of VC and CVC. Or else what you can do is, once VC is over, for all the sounds, for all the sounds of the vowels like A, E, I, O, U, A, E, O, then you can make the child to develop the CV formation. The CV formation is B, 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 Bo, B. Like how the child did ab, eb, ib, ob, ab. This is VC and this is CV. VC is vowel consonant, ab, eb, ib, ob, ab. And CV is b, be, be, bo, b. Ignore the C, that is the letter C combination and the letter G combination for the time being, because there is a rule behind letter C and letter G. Once I'm done with this, I'll help you to learn the C and G rules now. Now, for the vowel combination, this is this thing that ab, eb, ib, ob, ab. So the moment the child is aware of ab sound, eb sound, now the child can do the CVC now. Da ab, ka ab, da ab, l ab. The moment the child is aware of the CV formation, it means ba, ba, bi, ba, ba. So the child now, ba, now the CV, the word formation will take place with CVC, right? So now the child can do the exercise like b, 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 bab, back, back, bad, bad. So you can make both the elements possible like this. So this you can do till z sound, like add, ed, id, odd, add, da, de, di, do, de. Now, af, f, if, of, af, fa, fe, fi, for, fur. Now, ah, eh, I, ah, ha, he, ha, her. Now, al, il, all, al, la, le, li, la. Am, im, ma, me, mom. So that's how you can start helping the learners to develop the VC and CV formation, and then the C plus V or CV plus V formation. So this is how effectively you teachers are going to train is very important. So before you train them, you need to have all these practices thoroughly. Now coming back to the CNG rules. The CNG rules, what I was trying to tell you, right? See, whenever there is a letter which is before, that is whenever the C letter, the letter C is before the letter I or E or Y, or the sound of I, E and I, the curl, the hard sound of C will become soft sound. The hard sound is K. What is the sound of C? K. The hard sound of K, that is C, is going to become soft sound. It means it will become sound. So it means now ak, ek, ik, ok, ak. Now you cannot say, you can say, now the next combination is CV, right? Now K, you cannot say K. It is say, si, ka, ka. Ka, say, si, ka, ka. The reason is, now for the letter, that is for the word, how do you pronounce it? You will not call it as kitty, it is city. So the rule is, whenever the letter C is before I or E or Y, the k sound will become sound. The same way, the rule is applicable for G. G, whenever the letter G is before I or E or Y, the hard G sound, which is G sound, will become Ch sound. It means when you write G, J, G, Ga, G, right? G, J, G, Ga, G. And that's the reason you are not calling it as giraffe, it is giraffe. Right? So, but the words like get, gift, gynecologist, all these are not the English words. So that's the reason we are using G sound for those words. They are the German words. It's been migrated. So there are few exceptions in phonics. So make sure that the basic rules are trained to our learners, and don't think these pre-primary children need not know all these things. The pre-primary, the foundation learners need to know these rules. The reason is, when they go to the primary class, they are expected to read the direct words. They are expected to know. So unless they know the thorough basic knowledge of phonics, they will not have the happy learning there, right? And one more thing is, I was even mentioning the letter Y here. So the letter Y will come up with 3 behaviors. The letter Y comes up with 3 behaviors. Generally, the Y letter, for the Y letter, we produce a sound here. But just look into the sound that is of this word, happy. So the letter Y behaves E sound, right? E sound. Like for the word FRY, fry, the letter Y behaves I sound, right? So make sure that we are helping our learners to just know the story that the letter Y has 3 behaviors, yeah, I, and E. And that is the reason sometimes for the word gym, right? So and then for the word cycle, so the Y sounds I for the word. So always whenever the letter Y is in the beginning of the word, the sound is here. Rest of the rest of the position of Y in a word will become either I or E sound. So help the learners to know these what do you call these basic rules, right? Yeah. Yeah. Now coming back to the long vowel sounds, dear teachers, yes, it is our responsibility to even know the long vowel sounds. Yes, I think in this book you will be finding the long vowel sounds clearly. Yeah. See, like this, a. So long vowel sounds are nothing but the what do you call, the name of the letter sound itself. Now say for example, like the names what you and me have, even the letters have the name, like A, E, I, O, U. These are the names of the letter. So the long vowel sound has the sound of the letter names, right? So every letter long vowel sound will have different symbols. Like say for example, the long vowel A has the symbols like AI, AY, A dash E, and A, right? So now how are we going to use these symbols? These symbols we call it as graphemes also. Phonemes are the sound we listen, but graphemes are the symbols. We call it as spellings, but actually these are the symbols, right? So like say for example, pain. So the symbol used for the word pain, where is the sound of A here? It is in the middle. So whenever that is the long vowel sound A whenever the sound A is in the middle of the word, the symbol is AI. Now for the sound for the word play, yeah, play. So where do you listen the sound? Whether it is in the beginning or in the middle or in the end? Yes, the sound is in the end. So the symbol is AY. So these are the shortcuts that you can that is explore in using the long vowel sounds. Right. So see, the more and more you keep exploring the different sounds and symbols for every long vowel, and start making the learners to develop interest. Now here, as I said, see, whenever you are introducing the long vowel sounds, it's very important that you alliterate. Pain, rain, train, gain. Pain, rain, gain, train. Pain, rain, gain, rain. Now, where do you listen the sound of A? Yes, it is in the middle. And what is the symbol? Now let's all see the word now. Listen, point, and repeat. Now let's all point the word. Just a second, teacher. Let me find the page now. Yeah. Yes. Right. Now, just imagine that I'm going to use this page and I'm going to just say, now first I'll to motivate the learner's mind, I'm going to say rain, train, brain, pain, rain, train, brain, pain. Now let's all point the word now. Rain, trail, train, brain. Rain, trail, train, brain. Now where do you find the sound now? In the middle of the word. So it is AI. When two vowels are together, the first vowel will be talking and the second vowel will be silent. And the first vowel, name, will be talking. What is the name here? A. Right? And the second vowel will be silent. So this is how, just adopt the techniques and just try to follow the rules of the phonics. And one more very important thing is, teachers, do not use phonics rules for what do you call, for EVS topics. EVS topics should be as what do you call, it should go with the picture and the word as frames. You are not supposed to teach the spellings for the EVS related words, object related words, because object related words cannot come with that is any noun related words, that is nouns cannot have phonic rules. Got my point? Any word which is having the noun formula will not come under phonic rules, like chef. All these things are the name of the person, or it is a designation, or so please make sure that the phonic rules are applicable for the what do you call, the situation related or the general words other than the nouns. Right. So and that's the reason sometimes even the sight words, like the sight words, like there are almost if you can search for the dolk sight words, right? So even the sight words will not come up with any phonic rules. So say for example, a itself, it's a word, and itself, it's a word, right? So let the child don't that is not confused with the tricky words, which are nothing but the sight words and the phonic related words, right? So until unless we practice properly, we are not going to get this what do you call so for any doubts, you can get back to me, teachers. I'm there to support you. Yes. Yeah. So now we have learned, that is, we had at least that is, we had an introduction of the phonics part, right? How to use these short vowel formation, and how to make sure that the long vowel, like say for example, air, chair, air, pair. If it is kite, kite, right? So may help the learners to chunk it properly, so that we are helping the learners to develop that interest. And to introduce the sight words, sight words should be just used as frames. The way we introduce the words, we learned the introduction of the words yesterday, right? The similar way sight words have to be introduced just like that. Say for example, now if it is the word yeah, if it is the word are, right? If it is a word are, the see, make sure that every week, or every stage of your course, right, you are taking just a little bit of, that is, either every week you are not going beyond 3 words of sight words, or for every 15 days you are not going beyond 5 to 6 words. That should be the condition, because the more you are training them to observe the sight words, the more these sight words are going to help the learners to develop the sentence formation. These sight words are going to become the connecting words, right, which doesn't have the phonic rules, and without these words the sentence is not complete. Like the word the, like the word ah, right? So the sentence is not complete without the usage of these words, and we cannot ignore it. And you, if you are not teaching these sight word interactions, or the sight word reading or usage, the primary class will be a big tragedy for the learners, because the child will not know how to pronounce. And that is the reason even today many of us have the what do you call have the mirror image of and for, THERE and THEIR. When to use what? Many of us have the confusion. The reason is we did not get the proper foundation during our early years. Sometimes we have missed the opportunity of usage of the sight words. So please make sure that the sight words are introduced just as a word, as a frame. Like say, for example, the word are. I'm going to help the learners to just look the word are, and the teacher is going to make the learners to pronounce it are. Say the word are and clap 2 times. Hickalty pickalty bumblebee, can you say the word with me? Are. Can you whisper with me? Can you shout along with me the word are? Are. So it means you're just going to entertain the child, and help the parents, whatever words you're introducing, make the parents, inform the parents to keep the word wall, like how I showed you yesterday, right? Even the sight word walls, they can slowly start placing it and keep it in the wall, right? So all these ideas, I think you have to give them. And then what is the usage of sight words? It means these words will help the child to develop the sentence formation in the later stage. Like say, for example, even now after introducing, I would say, this is our classroom, this is our book, she is our teacher. So helping the child to know the usage of the sight words is also very important. So how and where to use, encourage the learners to use the sight word and form the sentence and send it back to you as a recording. So the child will start exploring the usage of words in multiple contexts. Got my point? So this is how we can help our learners to use the sight words also. Yes, teachers? Yeah. So uh, yes, thank you so much, dear participants, for your patience listening. Yeah, the content was little, what you call, dry, but still, yeah, I tried my best to give the the clear demonstration so that you can take back to your classroom teachings. So that's what. So any doubts, you can just raise your doubts, please.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma.
yes, what is the correct age for cursive writing? Is it KG2 or class 1?
Cursive writing can start. See, biologically, the child has the capability of cursors, because if you give any written object, right, that is the sketch pens or the crayons for the child to write, the child is automatically going to go with the curves, not the standing line and sleeping line. So it means the child is ready for the curves. Cursive can happen even in LKG, but most of the school situation or the parents' mindset will not accept the cursives, right? So, but cursives can start in pre-primary. Start from the dot, move up, take a curve, calm down, so that you will not see even the mirror image. So, but you need to have a balance with the print environment and the cursive environment. So it means by the end of UKG, make sure that you are helping all your learners to have a thorough four script knowledge. It means make sure that you have the alphabet freeze, capital and small of print letters, capital and small of cursive letters. So have an alphabet freeze environment. Show them completely always. So this font we are going to use it for reading, and cursive writing you are going to use it for writing. So it means you're going to use like this. Now, if I'm going to use that, so this is the mama A and the baby A. Now let's see the different font, that is different letter formation of the same sound. Now, A and A. But if you help the child to develop the directionality, start with the lowercase. Don't use the uppercase in the beginning. So help the child to develop interest in lowercase, and then you can have, because capital letters of cursive writing will automatically happen, because the moment they observe the capital letters print font, they can relate it easily. But lowercase would be little complicated for them. So start with the lowercase, because they will enjoy having the movements. So thereby they will not have even the mirror image problem. So cursive writing is recommended in the pre-primary classes. Any other doubts?
Ma'am. Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, I'm listening.
Hello, ma'am. Myself Bindia from Korba, St. Francis
Yes,
School.
Sandhya?
I'm
Yeah.
actually you changed our teaching pattern. You are telling to start the students from small letter. So we will
Yes.
try this year to start the students from small letter. And
Wonderful.
you told that teach the pattern first.
Yeah.
Actually, since last 3 years, I am teaching in this St. Francis School, and we have one pattern writing book,
Mm-hmm.
and we are teaching in from that only. No, so and about lines and colors also we are teaching. But I learned new the sounds of vowels and consonant, and you taught it very well. But I have little doubt about 4 letters. Please, ma'am, tell me
Yeah.
one more time. C and K
Yeah.
and V and W.
Yeah.
Four
See,
letter I'm confusing. Yes, C and K, V
see,
and W.
the C and the K will have the same sound.
Okay.
K, curly K,
Yes, yes. K.
kitty cat, ka, ka. And what is the other sound you are asking for?
V and W.
V is v. You have to bend your lips, that is, bite your lips, the lower part of v. And W is wa, wa,
Okay.
wa. You will have the expression, right? Wow. So the same way, wa.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Right?
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. I'm
Good morning.
Christina from Jamshedpur. What is the correct stage otherwise the class to make a sentence?
Ma'am, sentence formation orally can happen right from the beginning stage. But making the child to write the sentence can happen only in the third stage, which is nothing but the UKG, until unless you introduce the short and the long vowel sounds, words. After you introduce the short and the long vowel words, you have to show the object. Like, say, for example, uh, the gem on the tree. So, gem on the tree, the thief in the field. So, show the picture of a thief in the field. So, it means the sounds, the target sounds are there in the picture, and then you are helping the child to form the word. A man in the car. So both are the short vowel sound. Man, car. Right? So using the picture talk, you can help the child to form the sentence. Right? And then you also start using the prepositions like in, on, under type of sight words. You can introduce it the beginning of the year and start helping the learners to develop the sentence. Like, say, for example, this week I'm going to introduce another sound.
I'm going to. It was really very nice and interesting experience. Today I'm going to share. Today I'm going to.
What I hear somebody talking there. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. So make sure that see, sentence formation can happen in the first stage, but making them to write the sentence can happen only and the child know the word formation. So after letter formation, word formation. After word formation is a sentence formation for writing. Right, ma'am? Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
If you have any further questions, we can deal it with tomorrow.
Yes.
Now I call upon Priyanka Sahu from MJ Public School to explain what they are doing in 2 minutes.
Respected father, ma'am, and all dear teachers. Good morning to all of you. I am Priyanka Sahu from MGM Public School, Bhilai. Today I am going to share our home school connection program experience. Today I'm going to share about 4 points that we have experienced in our online teaching. The first one, how we have implemented our online teaching, and the second one, the advantages we found, and the third one is the problems we faced and the solution we find for that, and the last classes that we will focus more on which point. So I will start with the first one, how we have implemented our online classes. The first of all, we have made the WhatsApp group, and then we went according to our timetable. Means in our normal classes that we used to go. Then we have given instruction to the parents that means they have to should be means continuous in a continuation way. They should be send work, send assignments, whatever we are sending to them. And we put the time slot also, like 4 o'clock till 4 o'clock they can send the assignments, whatever activities we are giving them. So then we then I will start with that, the rhymes and conversation part. We made videos for that. It's made by and we all made by ourselves, because there are many videos in the YouTube and other for the same poem. But we thought like if we will give, because obviously the students, children wants to see their teachers and they feel more excited to learn. And this part is missing in this pandemic condition. So we have made videos and with action also, especially for the poems. So they learn with action. And the second part we have for the suppose we felt like we felt we have to give some explanation part. In pre-primary it is not that much needed, but it's still we make audio clips for that. And the most important part for it was the activities, because activities we in the last April month we went to almost 8 to 9 activities, means 2 activities in a week. And we planned the activities that parents can, obviously without involvement of parents, it was not possible for the kids, especially for pre-primary. So we have given activities they can do from the material which is present, which is available at their home. Like we have given, for example, we have given that palm painting activity. So many of parents were asking, ma'am, we don't have color, then how we will make it? So we told them, okay, you can do it with turmeric powder. So they have done with the turmeric powder and that color, colors like the fingertip activity they have done with nail paints, different color of nail paints. So it was, and parents were also excited to do all the things. And we covered the 2 to 3 activities related to this corona pandemic that we are facing. Like one mask making activity we have done. It was not that much of success because the students are small, but still they got the point. Means now we have to use this in this pandemic. So when they will come to school, so they have something in their mind about this.
Okay, thank you. To express our gratitude, I call upon Father Joseph Sunny John, Principal of MGM Hathikar.
Is a respected manager bishop of MGM group of institution, His Grace Dr. Joseph Dionysius, respected diocesan education officer, Father Dr. Joshi Varghese, respected person for the last 3 days, and my teachers. Today is the 3rd day of the webinar of the last head of a group of people. The class, which was conducted by Raja Rajeshwari ma'am, is very effective. The number of participants shows that the classes were very effective. Because that is 1/3 of this month, the number of participants. The first day it was 170 plus, and on the second day, yesterday, it was 220 plus, and today the number of participants is almost 250, 250. That itself that the class very effective. Earlier schools, in all, not only in the pre-section, in all, method of a teaching learning process, that is the chop and talk method. In the ancient time, but not modern tools. But since the arrival of Father Dr. Joshi Varghese as the DO of MGM group of institution, a lot of Oriental classes and seminars were conducted. We have a change in the material as well as the human resources. We all know that the material resources are not sufficient. The school, the human resources are not efficient, and the school will not function properly, and it will not be successful. Education is ending. We have to learn new methods. We have to implement new techniques. Learn. I think Rajeshwari ma'am is associated with our of institution for the last few years is doing that. She helped us and able to lot of things, so that when you know that the instruction means that it is the foundation of the whole. If the foundation is not strong, what will happen? The school will fail. Foundation, then only the school will prosper. Like that, the program is always there to help us. In the last 3 years, she is there. We have to take the teacher learning. Is with the principal as well as with all the pre-primary teachers. on behalf of the group of institution and on behalf of all of us, I would like to extend my gratitude this effective and make plus. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, HN, for your kind words. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and a big salute and thank you for our Rajeshri ma'am for a wonderful and lively and enriching session. Once again,
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much for the good opportunity I had today. And thank you, team, for your patience. And thank you, audience. You were really wonderful. God bless you all. See you tomorrow morning again with the same energy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tomorrow is our last day, so be on time tomorrow as well. Today we have a touch 250. We can't have more than 250. So be in time for logging.
Thank you,
Thank
Father.
you.
Thank you, Father.